Alaikum fourth graders. Today we are going to talk about what helps animals survive. First of all, if we ask ourselves this question, have you ever wondered how animals are able to survive in the wild? Have you ever asked yourself how animals are able to stay alive and survive in the wild, as you see in the following figure? Animals have certain adaptations that help them to survive. So, what helps animals to survive in the wilds are certain adaptations. If we want to define what are adaptations, adaptations are characteristics that help organisms grow and survive in their environment. So again, I'm going to remind you that what helps animals to survive in the wild and stay alive are certain characteristics that help them to grow and survive in their environment. These characteristics are called adaptations. Now we are going to introduce some kinds of adaptations. First of all, we want to talk about physical adaptations. Physical adaptations mean that they are body structures that allow an animal to find and consume food, defend itself, and to reproduce its species. So physical adaptations are body structures that allow or help an animal to survive in its environment. As you notice in the following figure, this is a walking stick. It looks just like a stick that you may find on the ground. So a walking stick, it looks like a stick that you may find on the ground. This is a physical adaptation that allow this walking stick or this insect that is called walking stick to survive in its environment. So again, physical adaptations are body structures that allow or help animal to survive in its environment. So physical adaptations help an animal survive in its environment. As you see the example here with this walking stick, its physical adaptation, this means that its body structure helps it to survive in its environment because it looks like a stick that you may find on the ground. Now we are going to talk about different kinds of adaptations. First kind of adaptation we want to talk about is adaptations for moving. As you notice in the following figure, if I ask you what helps the fish to swim, the fish have fins to swim in water. So the adaptations for moving that the fish have are the fins because they allow it to swim in water. So the fins are adaptations for moving. They are characteristics that allow the fish to swim in water. Another example about adaptations for moving. Now, if I ask you what helps the bird to fly? Yeah, that's right. The wings. So birds have wings to fly. This is another kind or another example about adaptations for moving. Fins and wings are both adaptations for moving. Fins help fish to swim in water, while wings help birds to fly. Other examples about adaptations for moving. As you notice in the following figures, this bird has something to allow it stand on the branch. These are called curved feet. So sparrows, this which is the kind of this bird, it's sparrows. It has curved feet to help it grip the branches of trees. So this is another example of adaptations for moving. The third example that we are going to talk about is the eagle. As you notice in the following figure, the eagle has strong claws to hunt and catch its prey, as it is clear in the following figure. So other examples about adaptations for moving, and I need to remind you that adaptations are physical structures, which means body structures that allow the bird or any other animal to survive in its environment. As you notice in the following figure, these curved feet allow the bird to stand or to grip on the branches of trees, and these strong claws of the eagle allow it to catch its prey. Another kind of adaptation is adaptations for getting food. So again, this is another kind of adaptations. Adaptations for getting food, I mean characteristics that allow animals to get their own food. As you notice in the following figure, these are the teeth of the lion. If I ask you to describe the teeth of the lion, they are sharp and strong because, as you know, the lion eats meat. It needs sharp and strong teeth to tear the meat in order to eat it, while this donkey has flat teeth because, as you know, the donkey eats grass, so it needs flat teeth to grind the grass. So again, the lion has sharp teeth to tear the meat, while the donkey has flat teeth to grind the grasses. So this is another kind of adaptations, which is adaptations for getting food. The lion has sharp teeth to tear the meat, while the donkey or the horse have flat teeth to grind the grasses. So donkeys and horses have flat teeth to grind the grasses. They don't need the sharp teeth because they eat grass, not meat. While the lion, the tiger, the cheetah, all these wild animals, they need the sharp teeth in order to tear the meat. Now we will talk about the third kind of adaptation, which is adaptations for protections. As you notice, this is a hedgehog. It is covered with spines. So the spines allow it to survive in its environment by protecting it from enemies. Again, adaptations for protections are physical characteristics or are body structures that allow the animal to survive in its environment, like the spines of the hedgehog allow it to survive from enemies that attack it. Another example, as you notice, this ostrich has long and strong feet that allow it to run very fast in order to escape or run away from enemies. So the ostrich has long legs to run away fast. These are adaptations for protections, like the spines of the hedgehog and the long legs of the ostrich. They are characteristics that help the animal to survive in its environment by protecting it against enemies. Another example of adaptations for protections is coloring and patterns to blend in with the environment, which is called camouflage. As you notice, this is the chameleon, which is a kind of animal can change its color according to the environment it is in, and here we have the patterns of the tiger help it to blend with the environment. So camouflage is when the animal is able to change its color according to the environment, or if it has certain patterns to blend in with the environment. This is another example for adaptations of protection. So a physical adaptation, as I told you, which is an adaptation for protections, is camouflage, which is to use the color or the change of a color in its surrounding to blend with the surrounding or with the environment, as the chameleon that has the ability to change its color, which is camouflage. It is a physical adaptation. This means that it is a body structure or it is a characteristic that allows the animal to survive in its environment. So, to sum up, adaptations are characteristics that help animals to survive in their environment. There are many kinds of adaptations. We have adaptations for moving, like the fins of the fish that help it to swim, and the wings of the bird that allow it to fly. We have adaptations for getting food, like the sharp teeth of the lion to tear the meat, and the flat teeth of the donkey or the horse to grind the grass. And we have adaptations for protections, like the spines of the hedgehog, the long legs of the ostrich, and the ability to change the color or patterns to blend in with the environment, which is called camouflage. These were the examples about adaptations. Thank you.